that read receipt, because we have to track all of that, and we have to report that back to Kellogg's. So please, anytime, just remember, anytime you get a recall email, do your read receipt. I am not good about doing read receipts, I'll be real honest. But this one is really important, okay? Check your inventory. If you have any Honey Smacks, there's 2 UPC codes, there's 2 size boxes, 15.3 ounce and 23 ounce. Document what you have, destroy it, and send Steve an email. I had 4 boxes of, I'm gonna say Sugar Smacks, Honey Smacks. Okay, just let us know. You don't have to write this down unless you want to. It's on our website under the agency tab. It's all right there for you, okay? So check your inventory if you still have any. We got it at around, I'm gonna say we got it around November of last year. Okay, so it's been a minute since we had it. The next thing I'd like to talk about is USDA guidelines. We talk about this at every meeting when we come together. It is important that all of your clients, this is if you're a food pantry, all of your clients have new applications and you recertify them before June 30th. By the end of this month, every client needs a new application because we have new income guidelines, which I think you have. So you may have a client that was real close to the edge, and those new income guidelines could have knocked them out. I don't know. So it's important, even though you check the income to those guidelines, you've got to fill out a new application, and that's the application we want you to use. And again, you can make as many copies as you want of that, and that too is on our website. Also, when you're taking new applications, there's a place on the application, especially if someone is a senior or homebound or disabled and they cannot come get their box, that client can designate up to 3 representatives to pick up their box. Only those 3 people can come pick it up. So if you have someone that's coming to pick up for a client, you need to check to make sure that that person's name is on that application. If not, they cannot get that box, okay? I think that's all I have for that. Is that all I have, Marley, on that? Yeah. Okay. Everyone should have do y'all know what this is? That's your Injustice for All poster, right? It's bigger. We just took the top corner. You should be very familiar with it. There's language on it that is that is important for you to know and to read. And I would like not only for y'all to know it, but maybe one time before your distribution, you can get all your volunteers together and y'all can all read it together. Okay, this civil rights declaration is very, very important. So please make sure you have one posted that's visible to your clients. If you don't, we requested some from USDA, but we don't have them. We will have them maybe tomorrow or Monday. That if you come up to the food bank, just check with us and we'll get you one. You can also print one. It's on our website. Everything is on our website. We're trying to make it easy for y'all. Just be sure that you have that posted and that you know what it says, okay? All right, this is a bad word, oasis. Kind of. So I want to talk just briefly about Oasis. Again, this is for our food pantries. If you are a food pantry, it is mandatory that you use this Oasis software, okay? And the best way, the way it's designed to use is you don't distribute your food and then that night or a week later have someone go back and put all your client records in. You need to use it right then and there while you're distributing, if you can, at all possible. I know technology is tricky, and that means you have to have a laptop or computers, but it is really important that you put that point of service in when a client is receiving service, okay? Because if you don't, there's a lot of reasons why, but the big reason is that if you don't put it in, if you distribute Saturday, You don't enter that in, and Saturday's getting close to the end of the month, and you go, and you don't put it in until July, that client could go to another pantry and get food between today or Saturday and the end of the month, and they've gotten served at 2 pantries. And unfortunately, we just don't have enough food to give people food twice. I wish we could, and we didn't have to use this, but we do. And so it's really important to get that data in. It's funny, I went on a Saturday to a pantry to visit. They're not open anymore, they closed. It was Faith Lutheran Church. And I pulled up and I was just there just to say hi and see how everybody was doing. And they sat me down at a computer and I was the Oasis person. We really have to use this. So be sure you're using it. It's super costly for us. We pay about an $8,000 bill every year, which we would love to use for food, but we believe in this program so much that we really, really want y'all to use it. And I put this on the slide, and Marlia kind of challenged me on this, and I know why, but if all of our pantries were using it, and we knew everyone was using it, y'all wouldn't have to do monthly reports. But we check it regularly, and we know who's using it and who's not. And so unfortunately, like any rule, the people who follow the rules get penalized for those that don't. We're still going to do monthly reports until we see evidence that this is being done regularly, okay? So just use it. It's real simple. If you don't feel comfortable using it, Marlia will help you. Call her. We can set up a training with our guys from Oasis. They're very patient, no dumb questions. They're happy to help you. They'll walk through it from the very beginning. But I can't stress enough how important it is to use it. And then lastly, before we get into our food training, I want to talk about food safety and storage. Unfortunately, we had an issue where someone, an organization ordered food, and they ordered frozen food, and they got, I don't know what happened, but they ordered more than what they could hold. And our truck came, and our truck delivered the day before the distribution. So the truck, I'm going to just say, the food was delivered on a Monday, and they distributed Tuesday. And what we found out on Tuesday was they left frozen food out, like outside out, overnight, and it was a cool night. It wasn't summer, it was cool, but it defrosted, okay? And it was USDA product, okay? So I cannot tell y'all how many phone calls, issues, problems this could have caused had we not caught it before it got distributed, okay? So not to say from a food health standpoint, but that organization could have had to pay for that product, and it was over $1,000 worth of product that got thrown away. If you don't think you can hold it, don't order it, especially if it's cold. I'm talking about cold, okay? And if you order it and you can't hold it in your cooler freezer space, you can't bring it home, you need to call us. We might be able to help you. We might send a truck back to pick it up. We'll help you solve the problem, but you've got to let us know, okay? We're here to help y'all. We're not going to fuss. We're just going to help you solve the problem, and that's all there is to it. So let us know. We spent a lot of time last year talking about refrigeration. We're still moving that way. It's still a challenge, I know, for a lot of y'all. We're thinking of creative ways to try and help, but just be mindful of what you order that's cold, okay? We also want to remind you in the food safety part of this that soup kitchens, shelters, meal programs have to have both a retail health inspection and a permit to operate. 2 things we're looking for, okay? And if you don't know what those look like, Marlia will be happy to show you. And then lastly, what we want to remind you is if you have a cooler freezer and it has a digital readout on the outside, that is not sufficient for putting a thermometer inside your cooler freezer. It has to have, no questions, it has to have an actual thermometer that we can open the door and read the thermometer inside the refrigerator. We have this at the food bank. We have a digital outside. We actually have two that we can read inside, okay? It's just an operating guideline that we must enforce. So if you have a digital readout, you still have to put a real deal thermometer inside. All right, questions?
Ms. Martha, concerning refrigeration, we talked about this last year at our meeting, and we did not have a very good response to that. We don't have any refrigeration, so we can't keep frozen food, and therefore a lot of vegetables are fresh. And if you would ask everybody how many people would be interested in their organization getting refrigeration, if we can get it at a better price than $6,000, I'll make an effort to contact some of these big companies and see if we can use buying power, and if we got 100 people, or we got 20,
Okay.
you know, then the buying power is really, we can add up.
Absolutely. Okay, for those, I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Okay, so for those of you who didn't hear, he said last year we talked a lot about refrigeration space, and we asked if anyone was interested, we would try and connect in a group to maybe buy a group buy of refrigeration so it would be less in price. And I think you were the only person that contacted me that I can remember. So could we do a show of hands right now? And if you were interested in refrigeration, would you just be willing to hear about what a cost could be? We're not going to commit you, we're not going to say you have to buy, but would you be interested in just learning more information about a group buy on refrigeration? Raise your hand. Okay. I think what we're going to do, since there's a bunch of y'all, we're going to pass a sheet around, and if you wouldn't mind, put your name and your agency name, and we will get everybody together.
Have their phone number or email or both on there.
Okay. All right. All right, Debbie's gonna
But we have
craft
to raise the
a
money.
sheet for us, and we're gonna just circulate it around and be sure whoever gets it at the end gets it to either me or Marlia or Debbie, so that we don't walk out without it, okay? Very good. All right, any other questions? That was a great question. Nope? Okay, I'm gonna keep going then. Okay, so the next portion is our Serve Safe Food Handling Guide, specifically for food banking. And this is a very long program that I have condensed down because a lot of this you already know. Most of you are already food safe certified, and so it's a high level based on the knowledge that you already have. Okay, it's long though, and I'm going to try and do it in an hour if I can. But I don't want to go too fast that y'all aren't with me, but I feel like a lot of this you already know. So if I'm going too fast, slow me down. Just say, okay, wait, I didn't get that, and it's okay. All right, is that fair? Okay, I just want to be respectful for your time. All right, here we go. So part of our food safety training, we're going to talk about why food safety is important, good personal hygiene, receiving and storing food safely, evaluating packing and transportation